Hey, what is up, everybody? This is the great Puckatini coming at you on behalf of PuckettFanShop.com. And what I got for you today is on the Arkansas Razorback coaching search. You know, I posted a video not long ago about my case for Mike Leach, and now that we didn't get him, he's now re-signed with Washington State for another year. And my next guy who I think we should get, I hear Barry Lunny is probably going to get it. And I like Barry Lunny. I just think he's a little inexperienced right now. I wish he had some head coaching experience. But anyway, the person who I would try to get if I could is Houston Nutt. And so this is 10 reasons to hire Houston Nutt. And these are not any kind of order, but these are 10 reasons why I think we should hire Houston Nutt to let him lead the program again. Number one, I feel he's very passionate about Arkansas. He's probably the most passionate person. I would say Barry Lundy's probably right after him as far as coaches go. But he said he wants the job. He's interested also, I see, in Texas, San Antonio. So he wants to get back into coaching. He wants to. It's not just this job. But there's nobody more passionate than him. He needs to be in the Arkansas Razorback, an athletic director position, something. I would hire him as the head coach and then in 3 or 4 years, he has some good has some good seasons. Put him in athletic department somehow, as some kind of executive or something. I think he needs to be, in there helping us in athletics. Uh, but I would hire him as a head coach right now. Now, let's also remember, he took over for Danny Ford back in 1998, I believe, and he took that team to a 9-win record, who had won 4 games the year before. So clearly they had talent there, but he got them going and put them in the SEC championship game, I believe, or they were real close to winning a title that year. He's took it over once, and he can do it again, guys. I'm a big believer in Houston Nutt. Number two reason we should hire him. He knows what it takes to be successful at Arkansas. His record was 75 wins and 48 losses. That's a 61% winning percentage. That's very good winning percentage. He had one 10-win season in 2006, and that was the year before we kind of forced him out. I mean, said he resigned, but he was forced out. He had 3 9-win seasons at Arkansas. He also had 2 9-win seasons at Ole Miss. Okay, so he's had 5 times in that 5 years in SEC where he had over 9 wins. I mean, we need that. Imagine if we had that now, how happy we'd be. He had 2 8-win seasons while at Arkansas. He also won 2 bowl games at Arkansas. He also was in the running for 2 national championships in 1998 and in 2006. Real close, we had was real close to winning one. Not saying we would, but we were right there in the running. And how far are we from that now? Ever since we got rid of him, Petrino kind of got us back, and then we've been kind of downhill ever since. I thought Belima did okay there for a while, but anyway, so we would love to get back to what he can do for us. Number three, he understands where and how to recruit at Arkansas. A lot of these coaches, I'm so glad we didn't hire some of these guys from Fickle or somebody else that don't understand what it takes at Arkansas. He always talked about building a wall around Arkansas and getting all of our in-state players, and we need to do that. Barry Leonard says the same thing. Nutt signed Darren McFadden, Matt Jones, Cedric Cobbs, Casey Dick, Marcus Monk, Sean Andrews, and many more of the state of Arkansas. Those are probably the best ones he got. Those guys easily could have went out of state, especially Darren McFadden. I mean, Matt Jones was drafted in the first round as a wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, so he got those guys at Arkansas. He understands also how to recruit Texas and Louisiana. We got to get in those states recruiting. I watched Oklahoma play the Big 12 championship earlier, and they have players from Texas all up and down their roster. We got to do that, as well as Arkansas guys too. He signed Fred Talley and also Caleb Miller, who's a real good linebacker from Texas. He also signed Tony Bua and Richard Smith from Louisiana, Ken Hamlin from Memphis, George Wilson from Kentucky, Sam Olajibutu, which is a great name, from Georgia, Orlando Waters from Alabama, Todd Lauderet from Florida. What he did so well is he paired those Arkansas players with some highly talented out-of-state players. But our base has to be of Arkansas players. And like Lonnie was saying too, we need to recruit guys that aren't necessarily like walk-ons. We got to recruit them too and tell them we want them, because they might end up being starters, So, and Nutt feels the same way about that. Okay, but I feel Nutt has the experience that we need. We don't need somebody that hasn't been a head coach coming to the SEC battling Alabama, Auburn, LSU right now. This is not the time to learn. You need to learn before you get here, is my feeling. Now, Here's how his QB's ranked in career Arkansas passing stats, okay? His quarterbacks. Clint Sterner, who he had for 2 years, is number 4 in career passing yards. Matt Jones, number 5. Casey Dix was number 6, and that's in the career passing yards. So he had 3 in the top 10. Passing touchdowns, he had Sterner at 3rd, Matt Jones 4, and Casey Dix at 6 for their career, So he has a lot of good players in our career stats, so he can recruit and get good players here. In rushing yards, Darren McFadden was the leading rusher at all time here at Arkansas. Cobbs was number 5. Matt Jones was 6. Fred Talley was number 8. And I have Matt Jones 9. That's a misprint. I need to go back and look at that. And I'll type down below what I did. Maybe Matt Jones was 6, and I got that confused with maybe a single season rushing record. But anyway, I'll look at that. Rushing touchdowns. McFadden was number 2 all-time at Arkansas. Cobb was number 6, and Matt Jones number 9. That's probably what I did. He was probably number 9 rushing touchdowns. His receivers in reception, George Wilson was 6th. Marcus Monk 7th. Anthony Lucas, who had for 2 years, is 9th. Richard Smith was 10th. And then remember, Eddie Boo Williams, who he got out of junior college, was number 10 in single season receptions for one season there. And then receiving yards, number 2, Anthony Lucas, who he coached from 98 to 99. Marcus Monk was number 6, and George Wilson's number 7. A lot of people always say, "Nut, always too conservative, too this and that." Well, look, his receivers had 1, 2, 3, 4 in our top 10 all time. So he threw the ball. Receiving touchdowns. Number 1, Marcus Monk. Number 3 was Lucas for 2 years. He had Richard Smith at 6, George Wilson at 8, and single season, once again, was Boo Williams there. Then total offense. Total offense, Matt Jones, number 1 in career. Sterner was number 5. Casey Dick was number 8. In total touchdowns, Matt Jones was number 1. Sterner was 4. Casey Dick was 6. And McFadden was number 8. Okay, so you see that he scored a lot of points and did well. Another thing that I liked so much about him was his defenses were good. If you're going to win the SEC, you got to be good offensively and defensively. You just can't outscore people. You got to have a defense too. And Nutt always had a good running game, good defenses. That helps your defense. Interceptions, career leaders. Orlando Waters was number 3, and then Patrick Wilson was number 4 in a single season in 1998. Leading tacklers all time, Tony Bua was number 1, Ken Hanlon number 3, Sam Ojiboutu number 4, and Caleb Miller number 5. So you see, he's got guys 1, 2, 3, 4 on our top 10 all-time tackles list. He would get defensive players too, and Bobby Petrino, I felt, didn't do that enough. And for sacks, he had Jamal Anderson was number 7. Field goal kickers, he had Todd Latourette was number 5 all time with made field goals. Field goal percentage was Chris Balserio was number 6. Brennan O'Donohoe was number 7. And then Latourette was number 9 in field goal percentage. And I'm trying to rush because I'm down to 8 minutes. I got about 2 minutes left. Also, the number 10 reason why we should hire Houston Nutt is that he's older now and he's learned a lot since he's been in TV and been away from the game. What I've seen is that coaches that have come from pros or TV always seem to be successful when they come back to college. Look at Lou Holtz coming back from New York Jets to Arkansas. Bobby Petrino came from the Falcons to Arkansas. Urban Meyer came from TV a couple times, and he's always been successful. Nick Saban went from the Dolphins to Alabama. Les Miles came from TV, went to Kansas. He was also in the pros with the Cowboys, and he's been successful at LSU, at Oklahoma State. They're doing pretty good at Kansas. And Mac Brown, they're from TV to go to North Carolina. And, so what I'm trying to say is I was a head coach at one time, too. When you're worried about your team, you can't go study other teams to see the way they do it. You can't do it. But when you're on TV and stuff like that, you can go visit these other teams and see how they do it. Okay? So I hear that I think Houston Nutt should be the man. That's who I would pick. And I tell Barry Lennon to go try to find you a job at Murray State, somewhere smaller, get that experience head coaching, then try to come back like Houston Nutt did. He went to Murray, went to Boise, then he came to Arkansas. I think we should hire Houston Nutt again, okay? And I think he knows how to win. He's won here. He wants the job. Let's give it to him. I say we hire him and get him in there, and he can turn these players around. We think we got talent, and that freshman class can be sophomores. We need somebody that can get them hyped up and play full 4 quarters. Houston Nutt's teams will do that. They always played hard, backs against the wall. He rallies it, and then they play hard and they win. So he's my man who I would get right now. He wants it. Hey, let's